Hello, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and especially rising sign. Here comes the month of February 2023, offering you some serious love around domestic, private life, home, land, property, and real estate, as well as the potential for an exciting new development with pets, rentals, dating, and best of all, super juice when it comes to things to do with romance and financial success through luck. Let's talk about how February is rolling out a red carpet of goodness for most Jupiter ruled people. That's what you are. Jupiter's the ruler of your sign. Let's get going. But before we start in detail, this is my land of real estate called YouTube. Who am I? I am Lori Lothian. I am a whole sign house Hellenistic astrologer using the tropical Western zodiac, not sidereal, not Indian astrology. I say this every time that people ask me in the comments if I'm using the Western or the sidereal. I always tell you right up front what I'm doing. So, finally, if you are new to my channel as well, would you hit the like button and subscribe because it helps the channel grow and I could really use your help. That's really, really sweet. I'm growing fast now. I'd like to keep the momentum. And you know what? If you sign up for my Patreon community, you get all my videos ad-free, way ahead of the curve, and up to days or weeks ahead sometimes. And you also get a discount code for a session with me, and you get a whole bunch of other good stuff. So I'm recording this on January 22nd, and you won't get this until at least the 25th on YouTube land, full of ads, right? So to come join for $5 a month, discounts on courses and readings when you're in my Patreon community, as well as 2 free Zoom readings with me every month where we gather as a community and talk astrology. And you can join my Sky Reader class in March, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life, 8-week course to teach you the basics of astrology so you can do your own readings for yourself. And you can also connect with my newsletter, Cosmic Moonshine Weekly Forecast Newsletter. It gives you a discount code for reading off for 20% off with me as soon as you sign up. Those are the fun things I'm offering off of this platform. So talking about your year, your month of February. Everything in February for everyone is better than it was any other time, even in January, because now we have every single planet moving forward. We have Mercury going forward since January 18th, Uranus January 22nd, and back end Mars going direct since January 12th. So this means it feels different. It feels like February is like you're going to get shit done. All systems go. Things are moving forward. We all feel better about getting everything to happen and all of our actions to work out and all of our momentum to cooperate with us. So this is good. So there's that general theme of all systems go that goes through the whole month for everyone. But then on top of that, the Lord of your sign, Jupiter, is now moving forward ever since December 20th, and he's still there obviously until middle of May in your 5th house. It's a fertility transit. If you're a Sag rising and you are with somebody who could have a baby, or you're the one who could have the baby, this can definitely open up babies and pregnancy and all of that. And this is ongoing. This Jupiter transit through your fertility house doesn't end till middle of May. Second of all, this is good for your independent business and entrepreneurial stuff. This will expand that. And it's good for you just having a lot of joyful creativity and more fun and more pleasure and more play, especially when it comes to romantic relationships. And certainly if you're a Sag rising and you're single and Jupiter is moving through your 5th house, this could open up a doorway in the month of February to a new romance, especially because Jupiter's traveling with Juno, his wife, and you're looking for committed love. You're not looking for any kind of love in February, but you're definitely looking at the potential for new love, especially because Mars is moving direct in the house of significant relationship. So if you've had to cut out other people from your life ever since when? Ever since August 20th, or they've cut out of your life, that's what Mars was doing there. Cutting and severing and ending and snipping in the house of significant clients and relationships and business partnerships. Now he's going direct, and it's all about what's good for you. It's going to come in, and what was not good for you has already gone. So you also experience, as a Sagittarius rising, this Venus transit called Venus in the sign of Pisces in her exaltation. You get it every year. It's back again. It's such a lovely time because she's in your 4th house of land, property, home, and real estate from January 26th to February the 20th. And this is where you can find your home life, like being at home, to be extremely enjoyable. Like I don't know. Sometimes people redecorate, repaint, rearrange the furniture, buy new furniture when Venus goes through here, redesign. But you can also find more enjoyment, more fun, more social life in the home itself, bringing people in, having fun, having dinners at home. She's exalting your home. If you're somebody who's a Sag looking for a new home to buy or rent, especially rent with the North Node in the house of leases for you right now, you could find your dream rental property sometime during this February transit. It's going to end on the 20th. So this is where you have this auspiciousness, this luck from Venus regarding property and land and real estate for mostly maybe renting or leasing, just because you have, the North Node Uranus in the house of leases and landlords and tenancies. But maybe some of you could be some good news around a purchase as well. That could happen, especially at one point when Venus and Mars will tango in a square, a really heated and exciting vibe around the 4th and the 5th of February. And that could be contracts and deals to either buy, sell, or rent a property around the 4th and the 5th of the month. Or if you were a single Sag, you could end up in a romantic relationship with tons of sexual energy because you met someone close to home, 4th house, like in the neighborhood at the very least, but if not, like next door. Or you went back to your hometown and you met your person there. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm trying not to make the camera focus on the mic and make me blurry. Yeah, so, okay, back to you. Who cares if I'm blurry? And back to you. Okay, so the other thing I'd say here, with Venus down in the 4th house, the vibe is that Neptune's been here forever, since 2011. And a lot of you have been confused and deluded and fogged out about where your home is. Where do you want to live? You're looking for your dream nest. You're looking for the ideal spiritual sanctuary, home, nest, place to land for a lot of Sages. I know some Sages like this, so this is true from what I can see. And Venus is kind of opening up that dreamy opportunity to stick the landing on the dream home or the dream nest or the ideal place to live. And so it would be worth noting that when she co-joins with Neptune around Valentine's Day, there's a strong possibility that you may find that's a very important time, not just for a romantic dinner at home with your beloved, if you have one, but also for finding something very auspicious around the home property storyline unfolding for you, because you do have Mars moving direct in your 7th house of deals and negotiations and contracts. So this could be a really auspicious Valentine's Day where you finally see or where you want to buy or sell or rent a property or a home. Venus can bring women to your home. A woman visits you, female is visiting you during this time until February 20th, but you like her company, she's exalted. Oh, she might be a little entitled. If you have a woman visiting you, she wants the perfect everything, the perfect sheets, quiet mornings, coffee made for her. But nonetheless, a female could be visiting during this window till February 20th. Because then after February 20th, Venus moves into your 5th house. Now, this is really good for pregnancy and conception for you or your partner. It can be a bit of a fertility transit. It can also open up a gateway to a new romance and also open up some positive, lucky developments with and about for your children in their lives as well. Venus moving here, if you have adult children, especially with Jupiter there, can look like an announcement that you're going to be a grandparent, especially because in the summertime, June through to October, she will be traveling through the house of grandchildren. So for some of you who have adult children, you might be not expecting this, but you may, Sagittarius rising especially, Sun and Moon secondarily, get grandchildren announcements coming through the sky, especially February 20th to the end of the month when you have that Venus in the 5th house of your children, trining the house of your grandchildren, your 9th house. Now, this is a light month. It's mostly stuff that's being done by Venus and Mercury and the Sun. So it's not like a game changer. It's like moving the furniture around, but not necessarily wholesale, gutting the house of your life. So I'm going to talk about some of the specific transits to do with both of them. I already talked about how Venus is moving in your 4th and 5th house this month, but also I want to talk about how Venus, and she can bring money luck. If you want to play the lottery and try to win the lottery, be a go-getter around that. And that would be the last 10 days of February. But also Mercury in Capricorn, your 2nd house of earnings and money and possessions. And Mercury's been there December 6th all the way through until February 11th. And therefore, it's been a long time in which Mercury is focused on your finances. He could have been helping you negotiate and deal make around money and earnings issues or possessions, like selling a car or selling a house or selling some kind of thing. Mercury often buys and sells when he's in your second house of possessions. And so you've been doing a lot of buying or selling of things that you own during this transit. And then he leaves around some of you, or you've been busy, making money and by marketing and selling things or talking and messaging. Those are all possibilities. But then he leaves your second house and he moves into your third house. And that's going to be a stay that could really open up some new developments for you from February 11th to March the 2nd, to do with trips and travel and journeys, learning something, a skills-based education that you can use, or teaching that, or studying and researching something you need to know about neighborhoods. Now, it could be a lot of different things here, but as Mercury moves into Aquarius, right, he's also coming through a part of the sky where you've had Saturn sitting for almost 3 years. Saturn leaves in March 7th. And Saturn here may have made things like your neighborhood enjoyment feel really squashed. Yeah, we had a pandemic, difficulties with a sibling, maybe an eldest sibling, because Mars exalts your house of eldest siblings. Ill health for a sibling, ill health with a niece, nephew, cousin, extended family member. I know a Sag person, my ex-husband's Sag son, who's terrible, devastating accident happened to his nephew, these kinds of things, right? So this Saturn is leaving your third house on March the 7th. But before that, Mercury gets in here. Mercury is exalted in Aquarius in modern astrology. You can debate that, but he's, it likes to be in air signs. So Mercury's coming in here just before Saturn leaves, and he's probably doing something good for you. I certainly would say he's a patron protector of travelers. So it's a good idea in that time, if you want to travel, from February 11th to March the 2nd. And while Mercury is in here also, he's going to be making contact with a bunch of planets. So we're going to talk about that in more chronological order. Let's stop for a minute and go back to a chronological look at the month. So let's start with Venus squaring Mars on the 4th and 5th of the month. This is a Venus, the goddess of love, exalted in the house of home and property and private life and real estate, squaring Mars in your 7th house. I might have mentioned it already, but I can't remember. Whichever way it goes, it means like there's something going on to do with legal agreements, negotiations, deals, and contracts. It's exciting, it's fast moving, it's very active for a lot of you regarding property, home, and real estate. Also negotiations and contracts and deals with either business or love partners, maybe negotiations around land and property with somebody you're already with, your marriage partner in some fundamental way. And then little bit later, as we move forward, Mercury will sextile Neptune from the Capricorn zone of the chart. He's still in Capricorn at this point, remember? He doesn't move into Aquarius till February 11th. So Mercury in Capricorn is your second house of money and possessions, and he is going to flow to Neptune in the real estate house, in the property house, in the private life. Could be a strong negotiation and deal around the dream property to buy or rent, or something to do with money and negotiations and deals to do with earnings and something you're doing in and from home, or to do with property and land. Then you also have the idea that right after that, Venus will sextile Uranus. This is lucky, sudden, it's lucky, positive, and unexpected developments regarding love and money stories, all right, on the 7th and 8th of February. Venus is doing it, though, from your 4th house of your private life, domestic life, home and property. And she's talking to Uranus in your house of property and leases. I mean, to rent a property or buy to negotiate to be the lessee or lessor of a property, or to be able to pay off a debt because you sold a property, or positive developments regarding pets and home, okay, as examples. And that's going to be sort of surprising and sudden because Uranus is involved around the 7th and 8th of February. And the best way to approach that is not to know what it is, because it's Uranian, and who the frick can tell? It's going to be unexpected or sudden and surprising developments, but positive, lucky or positive developments in that area, Sagittarius. Now, looking at the forward movement again, there's a special Valentine's Day coming up with Venus, and she's going to be, go back in time. Let's go back to the 10th of the month. Mercury conjuncts Pluto and your aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, brothers, siblings, and sisters, trips and travel. Mercury, Pluto could be a powerful opportunity to take a trip, take a class, learn something new, or developments with those significant others in your life. News. Now, unfortunately, Pluto is the god of death and Mercury is the god of news, and this is a house of siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews. You may get some news that someone has passed away. I have to say it, around the 10th of the month of February. Then as we go forward, and I have to be realistic. I'm sorry, life happens. People die, for frick's sakes. People like, you can't all be love and light, ascension, and photon belt waves hitting us so we can rise up to the co-creative powers. I mean, and then by the way, people die. Okay, people die. This could be news of someone dying in that extended family third house area. Especially with Capricorn 29 degrees, it's a very potent, turbulent degree. It's very intense. Finally, there's Valentine's Day is all very lovey-dovey. Neptune and Venus co-join around Valentine's Day, give or take a day or two on either side. What does it feel like? It feels like dreamy romance and high love in your home, in your nest. What's going on here? Are you guys like having a sacred ceremony of love? Are you going to get wed in your home? Are you finding the dream home and signing the dream contract for a home that you want to buy, sell, or purchase? Something like that is happening. And just right after that, really the same day and the next day, on the 15th, the Sun will conjunct Saturn, and the Sun and Saturn are coming together in your third house. We talked about your third house already, and the connection to, oh, I don't have the patience to go back and fix this. Do I? Yeah, I don't. I don't think I do. So I'm just going to tell you. Back when I talked about Mercury and Pluto combining, and I said maybe it could be the death of a family member, I'm taking that back, but I'm going to keep it as well. In Vedic astrology, your second house is the house of your family of origin, like, mom, dad, and your family you grew up with. So there could still be that story here of the news of the death of someone in your family from the second house conjunction of Mercury and Pluto together at 29 degrees. But it also could be a powerful money story for you at the same time regarding property and land. So I think I didn't say it that way because, it's been a long day. I apologize. I'm a little scattered today for some reason. I don't think I got enough sleep. But anyway, it still applies if I take the Vedic astrology idea of the second house, which I often overlap. And then the Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius on the 15th, just after Valentine's Day, has a similar meaning to what I implied earlier. This is your siblings and aunts and uncles and cousins, and this is a kind of death of a patriarchal figure. Now, all I can say is that it could end up being some kind of news or difficulty or health challenge with any of these characters if they are in some way leaderful or authoritative or patriarchal in your family, like great Uncle Joe, who's the boss, or the eldest sibling who is the one who controls everybody in the family, or something like that. Saturn and the Sun here can cause some kind of news or information or developments around a health challenge or something like that. And we have Asclepius hanging out in this part of the sky at the same time, the healer. So maybe there's also some good news about healing, a health challenge for a sibling, or aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, and nephew. It could be all of those things. All right, Mercury and Jupiter. All right, Jupiter and Mercury, not necessarily always the best of friends, but they're going to have a flowing conversation called a sextile on the 16th to the 18th of the month. Now, Jupiter is luck and opportunity in the fifth house of money luck, also the house of romance, children, pregnancy, fertility, your own children, as I said before, and leisure, travel, and romance. And so Jupiter here and Mercury in a flow relationship from the third looks like a romantic trip, can develop around the time of the 16th to the 18th, a journey to visit a sibling that brings a lot of pleasure, a connection to an opportunity to learn something that's a unique talent or skill that you have and to deepen it so that you can use it in this lifetime. It's a flow of Mercury in a house has to do with the online world. If you have your own business and you're Sag rising and use the online world, this is positive business developments through your online world networks and associations. Then Venus will sextile Pluto. That's going to happen on the 19th of the month. This is a Venus, as we know, in your fourth house, and Pluto in your second. This is a wealth yoga. Are you able to buy a property, sell a property, or lease a property, but it looks really good on your finances, or sell a luxury possession or expensive possession and get money from that, say sports car that you don't need or something like that, around the 19th of February. Finishing the month in chronological order, there's a Mercury square Uranus. At the same time, Mercury is trining Mars. This is a February 21 to 24th-ish time frame. Okay, so Mercury's now in Aquarius around that time, and he's looking in a flow relationship to Mars in your 7th house. This can look like some kind of positive developments going on that are newsworthy about your extended family and legal matters, or about your main squeeze partner, if you have one, and things to do with neighborhoods, trips and travel, and education, for example. And at the same time, you're also having the experience of the square to Uranus in the house of leases, pets, and debt. Unexpected developments to do with leases and pets and debts, connecting us in a positive way as well to business negotiations and deals and contracts, or your partner in love or business. So it's a bit of a mixed bag of energy, because squares can be harsh and unexpected, like you have more debt than you thought, and now you have to look at ways to reconcile that through negotiations, or that you have an unexpected development with a pet that's a little bit shocking to do with travel or trips, like my ex-husband's son wants to move to Portugal, and there may be some delays or glitches in how to get the dog there that he doesn't expect, right? That would be exactly what Uranus in the house of pets squaring Mercury in the house of journeys to anywhere, planes and trains, could be about. But it all kind of smooths out with a Mars negotiating gifts in the 7th house. So it all works out in the end. All right. Sorry about the glitch in the middle of that for you when I talked about Pluto and Capricorn. I did correct it. I'm not going to edit this. I just don't have time. I don't have a staff. I'm a solopreneur, other than my sister who helps me with timestamps these days, and I pay her. It's not something I have time to do. So I did correct it. Apologize for the mistake. I am not perfect. Ciao, ciao, guys. I wish you the very best, Sag, in 2023, the month of February. I have to stop the video.